Hello YouTube, Robin Hood Bricks here, and today we're going to do another brick haul from bricklink.com. Okay. Not sure I've cut enough into this. Oh, I have. Get rid of the paperwork. And what do we got? All in one big bag. Right. Okay, and straight away I can see the main reason for the order. Obviously every order you do you need a lot of things, but usually there's one or two things in particular that you want to achieve, and it was this Ari's Village Deli piece from an old Junior's Spider-Man set. Now, I've already got one of these. In fact, I was supposed to already have two of these because I wanted two, but it was an error by the seller. He actually had one of them and one of the doorways, which is quite different. And I want to put these as a facade against the wall, in between the train line and the wall in my city. So I want to make the facade of a building, so the impression of a real building, but it's only going to be a few bricks thick, and therefore it just wants as much detail as possible in what will be essentially a kind of a 2D building. So I wanted these really good looking window pieces to make up one of those facades, and having a door that would open straight onto a very busy railway track with trains going absolutely as fast as possible would clearly be a bit of a health risk, and there's just not going to be enough room to have them side on, because I mean this piece is 8 wide and it will need at least 1 or 2 on each side to hold it in place, so it just can't work like that. So I haven't designed this building yet, and it'll either be two of these one above the other to make a sort of 2-story building with decoration on both floors, or it'll be 2 side by side, maybe with some other use on the floor above. So I was quite keen to get this piece because they're quite rare, and once I had in my mind that I still needed one, it seemed quite urgent to fix that. In that same bag, 2 of these 2x2x3 bricks. I just use these underneath things to hold things up, so they're always useful. Speaking of which, here's some more. Try and recycle these bags if I can, just by putting the top bit. Now I probably could have used some of these underneath my harbour in the last harbour video, because as you can see these bricks are big, so they're very useful underneath things, but they're also very varied colours. I think that's even old grey, both of those two, rather than light bluish grey. So I don't likely want these visible anywhere in my city, so if I do need the dark bluish grey or light bluish grey ones I used on the harbour already, I might replace these in those locations to free up the better colours. But there's going to be lots of elevated areas in my city, because as I've said before, it's going to be on 5 levels, with underground being the bottom one, sea level, 2 at ground level and 1 very raised. So they will definitely come in useful. These are for the same reason. I'm not using these for a garage door. These 1x14 bricks with the groove, I'm going to use them with this side on, so then they're just a nice long dark bluish grey brick. What else have we got? We've got some what looks like sea life in a bag. So first of all, there's this, sorry, the magpies outside are going absolutely crazy. They've been fighting with some crows, so if you can hear some loud magpie noises, they were having a fight outside my window like cats a moment ago. Anyway, yes, so this is a clam piece in what I would say is probably bright flame orange, and I didn't have it in that colour before, and I'm planning to do more under the sea type work, so always good. And these ferns, these darker ones I'll probably use overland. I'm thinking about putting these sort of on the rocks to represent seaweed underneath my bridges in my city. I think they look quite good. These are a bit bright for that, so these will probably go under the sea, in an under the sea diorama at a much later date. Next bag. Mixed bag. This is a very interesting shaped piece, isn't it? It's in old dark grey, so it's got that sort of slightly horrible muddy grey colour. You can see it next to dark bluish grey. It really is quite different. But I was really interested in these sort of black and yellow. It's actually printed rather than stickers as well, so it's a really interesting piece. So I don't know what that's for. It's a very odd shape, but I like it. We've got an Octan barrel piece with Octan written on it. You can never have too many of those. Lots of the black beanie hats. So 5 of those. I'm going to have those for all my stevedores working in my harbour. A black fan, which I thought could also be under the sea, in the sense of being almost like a coral piece. I'd never seen these before. These, instead of little flower pieces, they're little beetles. I think they must be from the Friends line. So yeah, they're about a couple of pennies each. So I thought, right, I'll have a few of those. So maybe they'll go under the sea as well, or maybe they'll just go on some flowered areas when I get my park in my city going and things like that. So no doubt I'll find something for that. Maybe they could even go in my exotic pet shop. Now these 4 plates with a ball on are for a tent, and the reason why I did that will become apparent very shortly. Can't remember. That will be part of a light fitting on a street lamp, different type from the ones that I've currently put in my city. No idea. They're for a beach piece. That won't make much sense to you, but I've got a use for those. 2 more of those just to help support things. They're probably very cheap. Next bag. So whenever I do one of these orders, I tend to have about 5 or 10 things planned out, and then I try and get all the pieces uploaded to my want list for Bricklink, so I can make the most of absolutely every single order I make. So that's why I've never got all the pieces for one particular build in one go. I've more got lots of different pieces for lots of different activities. It just means that I have to make fewer orders and I get more cost effectiveness out of it. So this is a good example. This is for my fairground, and my fairground is way off. It's going to be right at the other end of my room. So if you've even seen 10% of my room, that'd be surprising. And this is probably going to be in the last 20%. So a long way off. A 1x8 tile with some nice striping on. No specific use for that. 3 of these round tiles with arrows on, and they're obviously for play features, so when I add some of those, we'll have them clearly marked. I think a Lego city should have play features, and they should be visible as well. I'm not one of these people who tries to make their city look like real life, because I don't think that Lego is real life. Otherwise, you know, we're missing a lot of stairs, a lot of bedrooms, a lot of homes and so on. You know, I've said this before, these medium trans blue rather than light trans blue or dark trans blue are, in my opinion, the best ones for using for waves or splashes around bits of water. Grey tile with an arrow, grey tile with, I don't know, whatever that is, a radioactive barrel top. Some of these are going to need repositioning using my hot tea technique. And 4 steering wheels. Now, I must have had a purpose for these, but I can't remember it. Next bag. some panels in grey, 5 there. I need a lot of these for the side of my Marina. They're going to be some 3D detailing, so instead of just having a blank wall of bricks, having a row that is built up of these will look a lot more interesting. So that's what they are. And a panda suit guy. Now they said this had some slight damage to it, so it's quite keenly prized. I think it was damage to this. Yeah, you can see the nose of that bear is slightly worn off. I don't know if I'll be able to repair that, to be honest, but that's not so much a worry. Because the main thing I wanted was the bear himself, and I was going to incorporate him into, believe it or not, a piece of cargo. I was going to treat this guy as an actual panda who is being transported between zoos. Good fun. Then what have we got? I've got a bag of modified bricks. These just for cliff faces, just a different other shape in a grey. A lot of these pieces. Now I think that a lot of these mounted on top of one another like this looks like the sort of rungs of steps that would get you from sea level up to the top of a quayside. So that's what I'm going to use them for, as if a minifigure or a diver or a swimmer would climb these to get out of the bay. So I've got those for that reason. And then I've got some other similar pieces in dark bluish grey for other purposes that quite frankly I can't remember. And then the last bag of this order has many bags within it. So I've got a lot of 3x2 black slopes, that many of those. They're for my roof of my main station. Some assorted plates, all sorts of different colours and different shapes, so I won't bother pouring all those out. I've got a windscreen piece. Now this windscreen piece was to go on my, I just saw it and it was very cheap, so I got it for the red ship hull that you will have seen on one of my very recent brick hauls from Lego Bricks and Pieces. So I knew I was going to need that piece eventually, so when I saw it at a good price I just grabbed it. I've invested in a lot of these just to be the tops for drinking cans, 1x1 round tiles in silver, and I need yet more of the 1x1 trans yellow plates for lights. And what else have we got? Some 1x2 yellow bricks for my station, some plates with the rail, some 1x1 dark bluish grey, either for my cliffs or no, probably for my cliffs, and one of those old style light bluish grey brackets, can't remember. So a pretty good order. Now before we finish, I also got another order which was too small to have its own video, so I thought I'd bring it into this video. Essentially I got a second-hand set from a Bricklink vendor, but then he also had a few pieces that I wanted as well, so I put those in the order, and those are what I'm going to show you now. So one was this tent. I haven't yet pulled it out of its backing, and there's an awning there as well, but it's mainly the tent. I've already got the tent from the people in the countryside set, and I've also got the tent from the Jungle Explorer. So with a third one there, I can make a bit of a campsite. Now there's a fourth one, which is sort of a dark pink Friends tent, so I still need that. And that is what these pieces were for, because obviously they give the tent its shape. So that's good. And what else was on this order? We have got a couple of minifigures. we have got a female thief. Now, I really like the female torso of this, so that's good. And it's rare you get a female with the mask on, so I like that. And then the hair's just fantastic, even if I decide to give that to somebody else. And it was very keenly priced, so that's good. And then there was also this minifigure that I hadn't seen before, definitely don't have. Only came in one set with this pink sort of shirt with a heart-shaped necklace. And there's always more men than women in Lego sets overall, it seems, when you've collected a lot of them. So whenever I see even a very standard looking woman minifigure, even if it's not that spectacular, I'll probably still buy it just because I need to even up the numbers a bit. Then we have a set of dark red steps. Now I've got these earmarked for my pawnbroker shop. I was going to have a dark red floor in that building, and it's going to be over 2 floors, so that's that. Oh, I need these. This is for my harbour. I'm going to put these to immediate use, I think. They're just slope pieces, 4x3 in dark bluish grey, but they're surprisingly hard to get hold of. And I need quite a few for the edging, so I'll buy them whenever I see them. Now here's more 1x1 tiles. These are the ones with the can tops on though, so although it's a bit of an extravagance, wherever I am going to have a shop selling drinks, I'm going to make sure they've all got can tops. Stickler for detail. Got a lot of these grill pieces, 1x2 grills, and they're for the edge of my station platform. A lilac tile, something or other, some sheet music, why not? A couple of bottles for a restaurant, for wine. That is sort of end of rocket piece, and actually that's for my large oversized alien gun, which is going on my alien mothership. Very small piece, but very important. And one of those, can't remember what that's for. And then last but not least, some Lego heads. So we've got Grumpy, one-sided, 2 of those, 3 of those. You never have enough grumpy people, I think. Grumpy people are quite funny if you ask me. Then we've got Angry Shouty or Smiling. A lady who's smiling or potentially, what's that, upset. And then a winking guy with ginger eyebrows, so all of these will probably have been 20-30 pence each. So a minifigure head really does impact very much how a diorama is viewed and if it's funny or not. So I think having a good assortment of heads, you've always got the right expression for each of your characters in your little vignettes and dioramas is really important. So, a good Lego haul. So as ever, thanks for watching. Do remember to like, comment and subscribe for more awesome Lego videos. And next time on Robin Hood Bricks, we'll be doing a Lego City update on the harbour area, adding to the piers. See you next time!